Welcome to Orinda Talks Fantasy and Sci-Fi. I'm your host Orinda, and today we're talking about Lost in Space with Mark 7. After crash landing on an alien planet, the Robinson family fights against all odds to survive and escape, but they are surrounded by hidden dangers. In 2046, 2 years after the impact event that threatens the survivals of humanity, the Robinson family is selected for the 24th mission of Salute, the 24th Colonist Group, an interstellar spacecraft carrying selected families to colonize the Alpha Centauri planetary system. Before they reach their destination, an alien robot breaches the Resolute's hull, forced to evacuate the mothership in a short-range Jupiter spacecraft. Scores of colonists, among them the Robinsons, crashed on a nearby habited planet. There they must contend with a strange environment and battle their own personal demons as they search for a way back to the Resolute. At first, I was very skeptic when the series came out because I already had my heart set out with the old movie and series. But I am glad that I have watched it eventually. The series is definitely better than I thought, and I'm very curious at the next and last season. So today my guest is Mark 7. Hello Mark, thank you for joining me.
Hello, thanks for having me. No problem.
So today we're going to talk about Lost in Space, and it's about the Netflix series, but we all know, of course, there's also a series from, I thought, the 80s, right?
The series, the original series started in 1965. And the first time I saw this episode, I had 4 years old, and it was 1966. And that first episode made me transformed me in an instantly sci-fi fan. So I can say Lost in Space make a very, very good change in my life.
But weren't you afraid or very skeptical when Netflix rebooted the series?
Oh no, I love it what they did in the 86 movie. Many people didn't like because there are many ways to do that. Count again that story. And the way they did this now in Netflix did, it was so creative, so more than the original. They expanded the possibilities in a way we could not imagine before. So I like what they are doing. In Brazil, we always say whoever tells a story always add a new point, a new comma, and a new word. So I'm thankful for what they done here.
So is there a lot of difference between the original series and the Netflix series?
Oh yes, there are many differences. If you follow it, the first and the second season, you see that the family itself is different. The roles of each one of the family are different, except Dr. Smith. He is there just to piss you off.
Yeah, I don't like her either. Isn't she in the original series a man instead of a female?
Yes. It was a temporary role. It was created to be the antagonist on the cause of everything that happens of bad to the Robinson family. But he was supposed to die in the second episode or third. That's why Jonathan Harris, that the actor who made this role, he was a special invited actor for the 3 years of the series. Yes, if you see the opening of the series, you'll see an actor specially invited, Jonathan Harris as Dr. Smith. And it happened something very interesting because Jonathan Harris wanted to work more in that series. And after the first scenes of him, military man, spy, etc., he started to become comic. And even Allen, that was planned to kill him, to kill Dr. Smith in the first season, on called Dr. Smith, and he came there to his office. And Irving Allen looked to him and said, "I know what you are doing." And Dr. Smith knew his plan was discovered, and Irving Allen continued doing that. And because of that, Dr. Smith not only lived the three seasons of this series, but he worked a lot in this series. He changed texts. Uh, he perfected episodes. The very cause of the most of the episodes were made by a trio, the robot, Dr. Smith, and Will Robinson, is because of him. And that, you can say, extended the life of the series. And well, I can say he made a good job. If you are a villain in there and everybody hates you, you are a good villain.
Yeah, you are. So, what do you like about the Netflix series?
In the Netflix series, they have some homage to the old crew. You can see the real Will Robinson, the first Will Robinson, in the first or second episodes. He was there. He was inclusive. His name is the real Dr. Smith, right? And it's impressive that the woman who assumed this role, Vanessa Harrison, was also even her name was a homage to the late Jonathan Harrison, who made Dr. Smith. So whoever planned this series, he was really worried about its origins. But as I said, they created a very new possibilities for everyone.
Yeah, I must say I really liked this series, and I must say in the beginning, because I knew the movie from 1978, I believe, I knew that movie, and I was a little bit skeptic that this series will be good as well, but it is really actually good. And what I really like about it is that it's just, it can be real, you know. It's, if we were that far with our science, and that we can have a space station and we have our spaceships, and well, I must say the kids are very smart of the Robinsons. That's what one thing I also like. But it is just a really, really good series.
I know. I agree with you. It's a very good series. I know that there were some people trying to start Lost in Space. I have people who made some pilot episodes, very not much different from what we see now in Netflix. But this one has much more emotional charge. I like what they are doing about that. And the movie from '96, if I remember correctly, it was very interesting too, because we can see the original Maureen Robinson as Will Robinson's teacher, or principal of his school. She appears there. The commanding officer that sent Dawn to the mission, he was the first Dawn. He was there too. He was another cameo. And we see in the interview that Dr. John Robinson gave, there were two reporters, two women. They made the most questions. Those actors, those reporters were Penny and Judy. So people who could not go, it was the original John Robinson because he's dead, and the original Will Robinson because they was very busy in filming Babylon 5. So yes, the voice of the robot was the same of the first series. So that movie also had a lot of love for Lost in Space, and we need to respect that. The story was not exactly like Lost in Space thing, but we have the advantage of be creative about that. And the actors they chose for that were amazing. It was an incredible movie. I like it. And we have now the series of Netflix, and those actors I didn't know all of them, but they are performing lovely. I like the series. I like the action. I like the science involved. The science is amazing too. Very modern, very easy to understand. I like it.
What about the technology in the series?
The technology is what can I say? They have part Earth technology, what we have now, uh, chemical rockets, chemical motors, and we have the alien technology. Everybody knows that we stole the hyperdrive from another species. For now, the robot species, everybody knows that, and that can take us to stars. But it is now quite known that it have a price. And this is what we don't have in the series, all in the first movie. This is something that connects us to only one enemy. And instead of have many enemies in all the series, we have this whole series based in one antagonist only. So we can see that the race of the robots is the real thing. So that we must to fear, and we will. I understand that in the third season we will have revelations about the robots species that will make us very worried about this.
Well, we could already see that in the robot itself because he has a blue face, if I can say like that, is then he is a nice robot, and if he has a red face, then all hell will break loose, and that's what we seen in the first episode of season 3. We saw actually the robot doing something to, I think it was titanium. He threw titanium away what was refined for Jupiter to start up and go to space again. But he threw it away, and he was saying every time, Will Robinson, danger.
Yes. Well, that will not be explained in the first episode, I'm afraid. So I will not spoil anything. But what I can say is that ship is not the Jupiter 2. That's another spaceship, and it was dismounted partially to make more space to the 92 kids that are there. So, and the robot have a good reason to take the titanium away. Take note of that. He have a good, it have a good reason to do that. They were worried gathering titanium to fix the ship, and Will Robinson is good on that. So, did you see how big he is?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I was thinking,
So
is that really him?
yes, it's him. It's him. So 1 year they set on that planet. It was a great idea. It fixes everything. They are already 1 year stranded there, and we can say we are grateful. So the captain, Judy, have not have no problems with discipline in there. Everybody obeys her. The team works nicely. I I I see that this was a very leadership, nice job.
Yeah, and there was one moment. I'm sorry, I'm going to spoil this maybe for you guys, but uh, in the first episode, season 3, there was a little moment that they have to use the gravity of the planet, that they will fly with their tents on, and it was really like, okay, this is MacGyver style.
Yeah, I'm quite sure they will win whatever problems they are needing to solve too. But it's always not easy. You know the Robinsons family. You know they go ahead and they face every problems they need to face. So have faith.
So, what do you like about the robot and Scarecrow? Because Scarecrow we didn't know, but the robot
Uh,
was a frequent character that is also in every series and movie that has made by for Lost in Space.
yes, the robot is a tool. If you put a robot in a spaceship, it will be a tool. But the programming of this tool is so sophisticated in the first since the first series that you can have a tool and a friend. You know, this is the difference of this robot in the all series. You can in the series, the original series, you have a friend because Will programmed it, the Dr. Smith programmed it, and it have two sides of the same coin. So that programming became very very powerful. In the point of the robot became a friend too. A friend is more than programs. A friend is more than a simulation of a person. You know, a friend can worry about you, can be uh, uh, can be useful to you, can protect you in every case, and even can give his life for you. So the robot is capable of that. The robot you see in the movie, it's same thing in a very more deep way of programming. I see in the movie Will Robinson used his own mental patterns to save us complete the program of the robot. In the movie, it was a very interesting technology. And well, now we have a totally different thing. This alien robot uh, recognized in Will someone to be grateful to. And as this robot is very, very, very sophisticated, not even in its body, it changed shape. Remember, he had 4 arms and now have two.
Mm-hmm.
He's more humanoid. He's more android than a robot. And he have the idea of friendship with Will Robinson. And the second season shows us Scarecrow, that at the end of the season he found a way so he can find how friendship works. So it's interesting, right? So that's why we don't have an Android today. We don't have this level of programming.
Do you think the kids who are watching this series now will go, or maybe are more getting interested in space or in the science field or space
I
travel?
I totally believe yes, because that was what made me interested in space and technology when I was 5 years old. You know, uh, I saw a family go there. I saw a family using science and technology in a way we don't have until today. So, I see people looking to that family now, enjoying technology more close to ours, and even so more advanced. I am quite sure there will be many kids like me in a short future.
So, what do you like about Lost in Space?
What I like, I just told that. The way a family can be on space, the way you can have a robot and a friend, and the way technology can help us all about that. This is what I like the most.
Okay. So, we also see that John Robinson and Maureen Robinson are quite the parents we won't see daily.
Oh, yes. In the first series, they were only a standard and steady emotional family. That was the criteria to send them to space. But now we see a multi-proposal family. We have each one with its job. We have each one with these talents. We now have not a scientist in John Robinson. We have a military. The scientist is now Maureen Robinson, and we see the leadership capability in everyone, in Will, in Jody, and Penny, and Don. Don is very cute about how to be the Joker in the story. He can beat Dr. Smith even in the humor. I like it too.
So, how do you like, or what do you don't like about the storyline?
Well, there is nothing I don't like. That's a good question. There's nothing I don't like. There are differences. We had only the family at the series and the movie, and now we have a complete community following them, and it's working. It's not breaking the main story. The community needs their presence. They save everyone. It's even much better than the original. I like it. I could not say that I don't like anything.
But do you think that the makers can do some, or make some differently in how they do it, or what you say, I love it totally and there's nothing to be changed?
I love it totally. There's nothing to be changed. I just want to change one thing. But it's too late for that. I would love they had 4, 7 seasons or things like this, but there are only 3. Also to make an homage to the first series, there were only 3 seasons, and it ended tragically without those people come back to Earth. So this is only thing I don't like. It's too short.
So let's talk about the in this series the female doctor Zachary Smith.
Mm.
I really don't like her.
So you are right. Every
She's
nice
freaking me
person.
out.
If someone tell me, look at that. If someone tell me that Dr. Smith is his favorite character, I start to look him as he was not a good person. So you see, that character, that Dr. Smith, it's exactly what we don't should be. But today, this line is very fake. We see uh, we see bad people as heroes in the series. We look around, so we can't say much things about that today. But you are completely right, not liking Dr. Smith.
Well, she did a lot of wrong things during the series, and one in the end of season 2, that was a little shock for me when Scarecrow really came to the aid of Will Robinson. I never expected that.
Well, that fact had a new meaning to the third season, and we will look at that, how that affect the rest of the bad robots very soon in the new season. So expect surprise about that. It will be interesting.
So you already named him Major Don West. What would you like to share about him?
The new Don West is very, very, what can I say? A smart guy. He started thinking about himself. He was a lone guy, a lone shot. And well, whoever have contacts with the Robinsons, they see to be illuminated by those, how can I say, those bright souls.
Yeah.
So it's very good, the influence we see in Don West, in Dr. Smith, and now we have a whole community to share the benefits of their influence, and we see people around them feeling better, learning more, get some trust in the Robinsons, and that family, for me, long ago is a legend.
Let's talk about the spaceships and Jupiter 2.
Mm-hmm.
What? Yeah, well, tell me from your point of view, because I know, of course, you have a lot with spaceships and also with airplanes as well. What is, do you think it will work as a spaceship, or do you think there has something else done to make it work, or are there things that there's totally not can do because we don't have the technology for it, or what?
Well, the hyperdrive in Jupiter 2 was a fact in the 60 series, but not explained. So we know very, very few about how they go faster than light, if they go faster than light. The second, in the movie, they elaborate a new technology that we use it, artificial wormholes that could not accept aleatory destinies, and that made the real problem in the movie. And now we have an alien technology that make you jump through space in the hyperspace. So in the three cases, we are dealing with things we don't understand yet. So it's very easy to be lost in space in those conditions.
Can you say something about the visual effects that they
Special
use?
effects? Well, special effects were 60s, 90s, and now 21st century. We are happy to see how they work about this today. And it's impressive how they evolved the idea and keeping the mystery of the aliens, of technology, and the story going on. So everything is growing in a very natural way. All I can say is you are making a very good job.
What do you think about the colony that where the kids are now and surviving, and that Dr. Smith was the only adult there?
Well, I hope you. I need to say spoiler alert, okay? Because this will be a big spoiler. Well, Dr. Smith is there. She deserves to be there. She saved someone to be there. She saved a lot of people being there. So it was the Robinson's effect to be a nice person. So I hope she keeps growing and being helpful there. About the other kids, they will learn about how from a bad person to be good person, and how the tendency and how can I say that, the will of survive, the will using his mind, using science to survive to every problem. They are very privileged to learn about from the Robinsons. I like that, and I hope they can recognize that in front of everyone.
I must say, yeah, that they really have done a good job in, well, the kids had to be grown up fast, especially with, what's her name? Julie. Yeah, Judy, because Judy became the leader of all the kids, and together with her brother and sister, she managed to be responsible for those 92 kids. But also, when you see when they are going to refine that titanium,
Yes.
they are really doing adult jobs, and they are acting so much adult that you would say,
Yes.
it's like that you can't. And that's what I also say with the Robinson kids. They are so smart, you don't see them as kids, you see them as adults.
Well, there is an old saying about two pigeons in the airport. One day, these two pigeons were flying where the airplanes fly along. So a military airplane passed through them with the afterburner active, and it made a very, very big noise. And two pigeons were surprised for that. And one said to the other, "Whoa, did you see how that bird was fast?" And the other said, "Well, I will fly that fast if my tail was in fire too." So the other child are looking for the Robinsons, and they have that fire to fly fast, to fly good. And they had their own ship being destroyed by robots. They run it from them. They know what the danger is. That's the fire they need to fly faster. And that's why they are so concentrated and so balanced, following the captain. They will do better, even better.
I have no questions anymore. Is there something you'd like to add?
No, I just need to repeat that I'm very happy that they made my most loved series at all in another way, and I will be glad to see and watch it again and again, as I did in the first and two series. I will watch the third series, and I will be happy looking at that. Thank you for these questions. I love them too.
Yeah, well, thank you again to be my guest, Mark. You are a regular on the show, so I think this will not be the last
Okay.
time you will be a guest. So, but thank you again.
Thank you.
And yeah, live long and prosper.
I'm live long and prosper, and I am very happy to speak about everything that makes me happy too. Thank you very much. And whenever you need me, I'll be there. 7 out.
Dear listeners, I'd like to thank you for listening to this podcast. I hope you like it, and I try to be diverse as much as I can. Tell me what you think how I'm doing with this podcast. If you have any tips for me how I can do things better, let me know. If you like to talk about this episode or want to comment on this episode, you can reach out on Podbean, the Facebook group, the YouTube channel, and the Discord server of Orenda Talks Fantasy and Sci-Fi. I also have a Twitter account especially for this podcast, at OTFASP. Orenda Talks Fantasy and Sci-Fi is also to listen, follow and subscribe on Podbean, Spotify, Google Podcast, the Facebook group, and the YouTube channel. In the next episode, we will talk about Dungeons and Dragons. I'm your host, Arinda. Thank you for listening, and I will see you next time.